Welcome back to Sports Illustrated's College Football Weekly Show. I'm your host, Claudette Montana. It's officially week 14 of the college football season, so let's dive into some of our top storylines ahead of rivalry week. Number 2, Ohio State will take on the defending national champs Michigan on Saturday in Columbus, and this is a high-stakes game for the Buckeyes because a win on Saturday means a trip to the Big Ten championship game. Clemson hosts a surging South Carolina team, and while neither team is currently in the projected playoff picture, the winner could put pressure on the committee as a potential bubble team trying to break through. Number 16 ranked Arizona State will take on their in-state rival, the Arizona Wildcats, on Saturday in Tucson, and a win for the Sun Devils means a trip to the Big 12 championship game. And in Los Angeles, the number 5 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish will head to the Coliseum to take on the USC Trojans. While it's been a down year for Lincoln Riley's team, the Trojans could play a major spoiler in the overall playoff picture if they're able to get a win against Notre Dame on Saturday. All right, joining me now to break down our game of the week is Sports Illustrated senior writer Pat Forde. Pat, we have another great game this week, Texas versus Texas A&M. An important game because the winner of this one will advance to the SEC championship and take on Georgia. Give me your predictions. How do you see this one playing out?
Oh boy, Claudette, there is so much at play here. Not just a berth in the SEC championship, which neither Texas nor Texas A&M has ever won. Playoff implications, but bigger than that really is just the bragging rights that goes along with this rivalry. They haven't played since 2011. They hate each other. Texas A&M left the Big 12 largely to get away from Texas because they thought Texas was too arrogant, too pushy, got its way with too much stuff. Well, now here's Texas coming and following them and joining them, and they were not pleased about Texas joining the SEC. The consolation prize they got out of this was the guarantee that they would host the first game between them. So Kyle Field is going to be wild this weekend. It's going to be incredibly intense. As far as who wins, I think Texas is the more complete team. A&M has overachieved this year. They've come back to earth a little bit the last couple of SEC games. They've lost to South Carolina. They lost to Auburn. And I just think that kind of their talent level has found its level. Texas, I think, is more experienced also in these kind of games. They won the Big 12 last year. They played in the college football playoff. They played Georgia. They played at Michigan. So I think they're pretty battle-tested and ready for this. So I will take the Longhorns, but I can't wait to just see the atmosphere down there.
I am also taking the Longhorns. I actually predicted that Texas was going to make it all the way at the beginning of the season, so we'll see if I'm right or wrong, but I can't wait for this game. It's going to be great. And last week of the college football regular season. It's now time for the switch up of the week where we'll break down the biggest moves from the latest college football playoff poll. And here is Sports Illustrated host Brice Butler.
Let's talk about Alabama right now. They go to Oklahoma and lose 24-3 to a mediocre Oklahoma Sooner team, moving them from the 7th spot to the 13th spot. And then we got Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart taking the Rebels down to Gainesville and losing in a big game to Florida as well. A game that they needed to win, but wait, for whatever reason, some of that SEC magic got sprinkled on them. Alabama's ranked 13th, Ole Miss is ranked 14th. Still knocking at the door to still get in the college football playoffs. We have to think, if Ole Miss beats Mississippi State, and if the Crimson Tide beat Auburn Tigers, and Boise State maybe catches an L, SMU catches an L, or maybe even Indiana catches an L, if one of those 3 teams loses, they're going to be back in, no doubt. I don't know how they're still there with 3 losses, as there's a couple of teams behind them, like Arizona State, like Tulane, only having 2 losses, but they're still far behind the Alabama and Ole Miss Rebels. So stay tuned for that, folks. Also, a big gainer in this week's polls, Tennessee Vols moved up to the 9th seed. Dabo Swinney and the Tigers have a big matchup against the sneaky Gamecocks this Saturday. Will they get the job done, or will the USC Gamecocks thwart them out of the top 12 and maybe give themselves a bid to get in the top 12 themselves? Y'all got to stay tuned for that game. This season has been nothing short of great. Make sure y'all tune in on Saturday. I can't wait to see these games unfold.